This tool gives you the power to effectively evaluate reproductive programs that utilize artificial insemination and heat detection. Historically, comparing the true value of different reproductive programs has been anything less than easy due to the sheer number of variables that must be accounted for. The input sheet is divided into 5 sections titled Productive Parameters, Lactation Curves, Economic Parameters, Pregnancy Diagnosis Cost, and Reproductive Program. The user-friendly interface allows you to fully customize the parameters to match your existing reproductive program and compare it to another of your choice by filling in the yellow boxes. When any of these input boxes are selected, a brief description is given for the information contained in that box. This feature is available throughout the program and will help you if you get stuck along the way. As we begin in Section 1, we need to enter some general information about our herd, including the number of cows, rolling herd average, and involuntary culling rate. The rolling herd average can be selected from the drop-down menu, and the other boxes can be filled in with your own values. In the second section, we have the option of using benchmark lactation curves for milk production, or we can enter our own test weights for cows in each lactation. If you would like to enter your own production weights here, just make sure this box is checked and fill in the appropriate boxes below. You'll see if I uncheck this box, the input cells disappear and the preloaded weights are used. As we move on to Section 3, the first thing we need to look at is this small box. It should only be checked if you're able to calculate the total cost to breed a cow for each service without the help of this program. As you can see, when I check or uncheck this box, the input area changes accordingly. In many cases, it's probably best to leave the box unchecked and use the program as a guide to facilitate complete and consistent comparisons. Now we can begin to set up another protocol for comparison in Sections 4 and 5. In Section 4, we need to enter the labor costs for pregnancy diagnosis via one of 3 methods. For our current protocol, an alternative protocol we want to evaluate, and also a 100% heat detection protocol. The 100% heat detection protocol serves as a baseline for comparison, where no hormones are used for synchronization. Cows are inseminated when heats are observed, as would be the case if one were using a bull or doing AI based solely upon observed heat. In Section 5A, you can use the drop-down menus to select the protocols currently being used on your farm for first, second, and later services. You also need to select the day of the week on which each synchronization begins, and whether resynchronization is used between services. Then the same information must be selected for an alternative program. Section 5B asks for more in-depth information regarding the different protocols to be evaluated. And since these inputs cover a number of specific parameters, it's helpful to select the appropriate boxes for more information if you have any questions. We can then select the brand of each hormone used and enter the total cost and number of doses per bottle in Section 5C. The inputs in Sections 5D and 5E define the total labor cost for our current reproductive program and the alternative program we're analyzing. The highlighted input columns correspond to the choices made in Section 5A. Each row asks for different information regarding injection and pregnancy diagnosis activities. Section 5F describes the labor costs for heat detection in both the portion of our timed AI program and the baseline 100% heat detection program. The last step is to select the parity for which this analysis will be completed from the drop-down menu. Then we hit the Run Analysis button and move over to the Results tab. The Results tab contains a series of tables and graphs which provide solid supporting evidence for our evaluation. Tables 1 and 2 summarize our input information, and in Table 2 you'll find calculated values for the cost of each AI service and method of pregnancy diagnosis. The bar graph in Figure 3 represents the expected monetary value of a cow by days open. For example, if we look at the bar for 110 days open, $6.80 per cow per day is the expected average value for the entire lactation if a cow gets pregnant at this time. The line graph in Figure 4 shows survival curves for each of the reproductive programs being evaluated. Survival curves are extremely useful in determining the true value of a reproductive program by showing the reproductive efficiency of your herd. As a rule of thumb, it's best to choose a program that will achieve pregnancy in at least 50% of all cows by 100 days in milk, at least 70% of all cows by 150 days in milk, and over 90% of all cows by 300 days in milk. The vertical line represents the cutoff point for breeding. Any cows found open beyond this point will be culled for reproductive reasons. Figure 5 shows which reproductive program will return the highest value to the farm over time. In this case, our alternative option using a double OVSync protocol has the highest present value at $6.32 per cow per day. The last figure aggregates the information from a daily individual cow basis in Figure 5 up to the herd level over the course of the year. These figures show the total impact of each reproductive program and make it easy to see which one will generate the greatest positive impact over time. In this case, using double OVSync would generate an extra $48,000 per year compared to our baseline program. For more information, including a detailed user guide and free download of this program, please visit the UW Dairy Management website.